Hi everybody, it's Kate from Bible Baptist Church. Hope you're all doing okay. We're really missing you at church, but hopefully we can all be back to normal soon. Thanks for watching these videos every week. Hope that you're enjoying them. Today I'm going to be telling you a story about a battle and something that we can learn from it. Now you might be thinking, Kate, I'm not fighting any battles, I'm not going to war, and I'm not either. But we all face battles. Now, sometimes people are facing actual battles where they're fighting, but a battle is just something which you are facing, something which you are struggling with, something which a problem which you're trying to fix. Now, your battle could be you are struggling at school, maybe maths or writing or drawing is something which you really struggle with, and that's like a battle because it's frustrating and you just feel like you can't get past it. Your battle might be something like you are falling out with your brothers and sisters at home. Maybe you're spending so much time in the house and you just keep falling out. I know I keep falling out with my sister. That's like a battle. It's something which you're struggling with and you're trying to overcome, trying to win. Maybe you have friendships at school. Maybe that's a battle every day. You're struggling with a certain person in the playground is not being very nice to you. That's a battle. So we all face battles, and even though we're not fighting, it doesn't mean that there aren't things which we struggle with, and that's what today's story is about. And it's actually about a man who had a fighting real battle to face. It was a war, and thankfully we don't have to face that, but there's something we can really learn from this. Now I'm going to read it from my Bible, which I found at home. Don't know if you remember it from the other lessons. Today's story is about a man called Gideon. So I'm going to read it and I'll show you the pictures. The people of Israel lived happily in their new land of Canaan. God had given it to them. But other groups of people lived in the land too. One group was the people of Midian. They were cruel and mean. They stole food and animals from the people of Israel. This happened so much that the people of Israel had nothing left. They were not happy anymore. So they prayed for help. Now that's the first thing I want you to remember. What was the first thing that the people of Israel did when they had something troubling them? They prayed about it. God wants us to pray to him and ask for help. He is the most powerful and loving person you could ever speak to, and he wants to help us. And that's what the Israelites did. They prayed to God first. Now here's a picture of a very scary looking Midianite. You do not want to face this person. Their battle looks pretty scary at the moment. So let's see what happens. Then God spoke to a man named Gideon. "Gather an army," God said. Gideon found 32,000 men willing to fight. But God said, "That's too many. If you win, you'll think you did it without my help. Make your army smaller." So Gideon sent home all the men who were afraid. Only 10,000 remained. This is quite strange. There's a battle, and you want the biggest army possible to win this battle. But can you remember what God said? He said the army was too big and to make it smaller. Let me just show you a picture of the army. So there's lots of men wanting to fight, wanting to help this battle. But Gideon sent some home and they only had 10,000 left. And God said it was because he wanted them to win the battle because they had God on their side, not because they had a big army. So that's something we can learn as well. We need to put our trust in God, not in ourselves. And that's what God wants us to do. Let's see what happens. "That's still too many," God said. So Gideon sent 9,700 more home. Only 300 remained. So we've gone from 32,000 men to 300. That's a lot smaller army. A much smaller army, sorry. Gideon and his 300 men waited for night time. so they're ready to fight. They're waiting for it to go dark. They sneaked up to the army of Midian and stood in the darkness around the camp. Each one had a clay jar with a torch inside. Gideon's orders were, "Wait for my signal. When I shout, break your jars and give a loud shout." So here's the picture. This is the camp down here, the Midianites, the bad guys. This is Gideon's army. Not very big. And they have clay jars with torches inside. And they've been given an instruction from God. They're really having to trust God now, because God is going to help them win this battle. And they have to trust him. Do you think they're going to win the battle if they've only got 300 men? Let's see. Gideon gave the signal. All his men broke their jars and shouted. Can you imagine shouting your loudest shout on the playground? Ah! The soldiers of Midian, so the bad guys, woke up. They ran around in confusion and began fighting each other. Gideon and his men chased them all away. Now the land was safe. God had helped Gideon win, just as he had promised. Let me show you this picture. This is the army. They've broken their clay jars, so this torch, which is actually a flame, not like a battery torch, is now, you can see the fire. And they're shouting. There's not many of them. It's only 300. And the men, right at the bottom, woke up. They were confused. Can you imagine waking up another night? Like, what's that noise? And they started to fight each other rather than fighting the Israelites. And the Israelites won the battle. Now, really, was it the Israelites who won the battle? Who was it who won that battle for them? It was God. Now, they didn't need lots of men. They didn't even need the torches. All they needed was God, because God is the most powerful person and he knows everything. Now, thank goodness you're not facing your own battle today. You're not going to go and fight. You don't need to get your torches and your clay jars. But remember at the start I spoke about how we all have battles and we all have problems that we're facing. And you might be facing one at the moment at home. And what we can learn are 3 things. Now the first thing, can you remember what the Israelites did first? They prayed. The first thing you can do in any battle, any problem, is pray to God. Speak to him. Ask him for help, because God wants to help us. Now the second thing you can do when you're facing a battle is you need to trust God. You need to trust that he is going to answer your prayer. You need to trust that he's listening, because God is listening and he does care and he will answer your prayer. The third thing you need to do, see my fingers, you need to let God take control. Let God win the battle for you. Now that's really hard sometimes. Really hard to give up control. We want to do this, we want to get an army, we want to sort things out ourselves. But we need to let God win the battle for us. And that's one of the most important things that we can do. So number 1, pray to God. Number 2, trust that he's listening and that he's going to answer your prayer. Number 3, let God take control. And that's what we can learn from this story. This true story, which happened many, many years ago. The same God who helped Gideon win his battle is here ready to help you win your battle. Now the Bible actually says that we are more than conquerors through him that loved us. Now conqueror, you might think, is that something on a tree that you see in autumn time? No. Conqueror is somebody who wins, somebody who overcomes battle. But the verse says in the Bible, we are more than conquerors, we are more than winners through him, through God who loves us. And that's such an important lesson to learn. God is not just powerful, but he is loving and he loves every single one of you. So maybe this week, if you're struggling with something, you could try that. You could pray to God. Know that he's going to answer you, and then let him help you. We can all learn this lesson from the Bible. Thank you for listening to the story today. Thank you for bearing with maybe the fuzzy pictures sometimes. Hope you have a great week. Thanks for watching these videos. Feel free to share them with your friends. See you all soon. Bye.